we've got Easter eggs, we've got ad campaigns, and we've got opinions.
If you'd put disabled creators in this, it would have performed even better.
In this special Easter edition, we've got our global client director and strategist to sit down with some sweet treats and even sweeter campaigns to break down the biggest ads of 2024. Let's get cracking. So guys, how many Easter eggs have you decorated before?
None.
I've done a few, nieces, nephews, and an arty family, so I have to say I should be a professional, but the proof will be in the egg pudding. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Basically, I've got like one thing I can draw, and that's a cartoon face, so luckily this is head chick, so that's probably what I'm doing.
Are we ready?
We're ready. Nice.
Yes. I have seen that before, but I'd forgotten that I'd seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very cool. I wonder what the budget was.
Yeah.
VFX is so expensive, it's so cool. And obviously really sort of underscores that parity between the talent of men's and women's football.
I think that probably worth mentioning, like obviously it's a great example of an underrepresented community in media and people making presumptions and assumptions based on what they're seeing, obviously. But I would say that also that shows a very great example of where we see this one prominent community, and so our reflex is to just default to that, and obviously Orange are playing into that. We're leaning into like, that must be men's football. Of course it must be, because that's the only one that's kind of given this global, credence. But in our world, we see exactly the same sort of, I won't say treatment, but like representation in different protected characteristics, including disability. And I think that is a lovely campaign to show that actually if you look deeply at a community maybe you've otherwise neglected, you can create something like truly sort of progressive and truly kind of creative as well. Ultimately, like advertising dollars and pounds, dictate what we're aware of,
Exactly,
more than anything else.
Yeah.
Would you watch a 10-minute TikTok?
No.
Well, you should. Because Hilton believes it matters where you stay. And the people that stay with this TikTok for the full 10 minutes.
It's like a kind of ultra TikTok, isn't it? And it is interesting, the sort of increasing prevalence of long-form content on TikTok, because it really never had that reputation, did it? And everything was kind of pointing to stuff being shorter and shorter and shorter.
I also like the sort of humanised element of it, working with creators from the ground up in this. Obviously, some very recognisable faces in there, but at the same time, I think that leading into what we're doing, these are examples of where, other brands might have gone, oh, this is a bit scary, we can't possibly do something like this. And with a great idea and the rationale around it, Hilton have gone, you know what, no, we can do this. This is a great idea and this is why.
Do you know if there were any disabled creators in the sequence? No. See, I think that's really interesting, isn't it? I mean, it's one of those campaigns where there is a kind of massive opportunity to do that. And given 24% of the population is disabled, it's such a massive way to increase resonance with that specific audience if you're trying to reach as broad a people as possible, maybe a missed op.
Yeah, people that see themselves in content feel, a stronger connection to that brand. Also, the more diverse the content, the better it naturally performs. So we might have the rationale that actually, if you put disabled creators in this, it would have performed even better. So, yeah, great work, Hilton, but we'd like to make it even better in the future.
I'm loving what I've done today. It feels so good, oh yeah, yeah. It feels so good, oh yeah, yeah.
Nice.
This was,
Packaging. Very largely speaking, I would give that at a really high score. I think that it does a great job of humanising the individual, and they are, integrated into social scenes, which is something we don't often see. Like, you're not an island as a disabled person, you're a product of those around you. And I think that it does a great job of that. I think that showing people the things, the elements of someone's life that are slightly different, there's always a balance between offering insight and education and kind of intrigue, but then it's how far you balance that to the point of where does it become kind of like oogling. And that's always really hard, and I wouldn't necessarily say that like is perfect. You know, would it be better if it just was slightly less, you know, like upfront, and clearly the like full purpose of the campaign is to show us the way she does things as an individual. However, because it's about inclusive packaging, there is an element, I think, from my side that, you know, that you're taking someone on an educational journey so that actually you realise at the end why that packaging is useful and helpful.
So overall, what would you say about the 2024 ads? Like,
Well, I think it's no surprise that as Purple Goat, we'd like to see more disabled representation. As the kind of largest underrepresented minority group in the world, there's always room, I think, for more representation, and I think it would shock a lot of people to represent disabled people proportionally as to where they stand in the population. But theoretically, you know, that is where we should be.
Yeah, I'd echo that, and I suppose I'd just say that I think as advertisers we're getting better at realising where there are gaps, societal gaps, and the power of media, marketing and advertising to do its bit in kind of driving progressive conversations and driving inclusion in society. We've got a duty and an opportunity as advertisers to do that. And so I think that, as Bill said, it's just about ensuring that we're always thinking through an intersectional lens, and disability being a fundamental part of that as the largest minority in the world.
nice. Last thing, please may you show your eggs to the camera.
Well, I've gone for a sort of Easter Frankenstein character, Egbert, and he is a sort of scared man because he's got half a head, but then he also is like from the Matrix, so he's had an Easter egg shoved in the back of his head.
Oh, wow.
And that's his kind of like sort of power source, because so that's, yeah, hello Egbert.
So I started and I thought I must draw a purple goat, and then quickly realised how difficult it is to draw on an egg. But I persisted and I drew it's like going to have to be a sort of rotational demonstration, a purple goat.
Oh, it's holding a thumbs up. Wow.
It's giving a thumbs up. And then the other one, I was inspired by Dom's face, and I also did a face. A little bit harrowing.
I think we both need counselling.
Yeah. I don't have a Matrix button in the back of my head, but yeah.